Give a big round, give a big round of the hand. Give a big round, give a big round, give a big round, give a big round of the hand. Give a big round, give a big round, big round, give a big round, give a big.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to another edition of the Parents' Lounge. It's Tuesday night, and as we all know, Tuesday is Italian for Negroni. So I thought it was fitting tonight because we have a wonderful guest here on the Parents' Lounge. I'm Jamie Kaler, joined as always by Jason Gowan. Kate Mulligan has an insane story of why she's late that we'll get to when she stumbles in. But our guest today is one of our all-time faves. We keep asking her to do the show every Tuesday, and it's like, I got to pick up my son from Boy Scouts is usually the response, which should be a T-shirt as well. I need to pick up my son from Boy Scouts. But she arranged a ride, and we're very thankful for it. She's one of my favorite comedic actors, and she is a UCB stalwart, a teacher over there. She's worked many times on television film. She has a new film she shot called Mama Bear, which I'm not sure might be a sequel to Cocaine Bear. We'll get into that shenanigans too.
You beat me by 1 second.
I know. Oh, did I? That's like
I was literally going for it.
Mama Cocaine Bear, and she does a podcast, which we might be on permanent hiatus, might be on sabbatical. We don't know what's happening, but the name of the podcast, everyone I've told to is like, that's the best name of a podcast. So I wouldn't let it go. It's called Why Mommy Drinks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome Betsy Stover on our show tonight. Betsy, thank you so much for coming on. Super fun. It's so funny. Like, it was absolute mayhem. Like, you came to do the show, and then we had a little text message going, everybody join in. Hey, Katie, Jason, where's the Mama Bear cup? It's
my wife has it currently.
Okay. And I was equating it to, in the marathon when that one person can barely make it across the finish line. And yes, see, Betsy knows what this is why mommy drinks. I always wonder why mommy doesn't drink. That like every week, every Tuesday, as we come to this show, you guys may think like we're prepping and we're like working hard and cutting and pasting a lot of stuff. We're not. We come stumbling in like the landing gear's not down. And I think of it as that marathon runner who, just as they cross the finish line, they shat themselves. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like they just come in on one nerve. And here we are tonight. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you didn't see it, but right before the show, Jamie just had his head in his hands, just reacting to all the feelings of the day and all it took to get here right now.
That's how I feel. And actually, I probably had the easier day of the whole thing. But yeah, one daughter's at swim practice. I just cooked a meal that nobody ate. My wife just called me from swim practice, said Hannah forgot her goggles. And another kid offered her goggles, but she refuses to wear those goggles. And so she's swimming in a pool with no goggles, like trying to learn the individual medley that she's going to do for the first time this weekend. So it's
raw dog in that chlorine.
Good time. So, Bets, it's been a while. We haven't talked to you in a while. How have you been holding up? How's life with children?
Life with children is good. I now officially have a teenager. I have a 13-year-old, which is wild. Yeah. Oh, here here comes one. Hi, can I help you? I don't know where the charger is. I'm doing this show. Can you give me a minute?
Hello there.
Oh, do you want to say hi real quick?
Hello.
No one can see you. There we go.
Hi, how are you?
Hey. All right, get
I'm
out.
guessing that's not the teenager.
No, that's the 13-year-old. What are you talking about?
That's he's very.
Does he have Benjamin Button syndrome?
What? No,
You know-
he's totally normal. What are you talking about?
No, I knew that wasn't the teenager because he didn't say "Go F yourself, mom."
That one. He's so like, yeah, every exchange with a 13-year-old is like they're like exasperated at everything. So you'd be like, don't forget your water bottle for school. And they'll be like, oh, I know.
What
like,
does that
and then
switch
you
flip?
get-
What age does that switch flip? Because you were both.
I have a 10-year-old and it's already started.
For us, it was 12. And maybe, yeah, I've heard for 10-year-old for girls, I've heard.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'll be dead before that happens with ours.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
yeah,
My
so there's a lot
10-year-old's
of
really.
attitude.
I was telling Jason over the weekend, my 10-year-old just pushed every button possible to the point where I absolutely, I melted, unfurled, swore. I think I threw a chair across a room. I kicked something over. She was like shaking and crying. I mean, I might get arrested. I'm not sure what's happening, but I absolutely melted because she just wouldn't do anything. And she was going out of her way to be such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And as soon as I melted, because I had asked her to help me with something and she wouldn't do it. And I said, you do it. And I said, that's it. And I melted and I left and she cleaned the whole house. After I melted down, she actually cleaned the whole house. And then later on in the day, we kind of we made up. Apparently we have to stick together because she's my child and I have to be with her for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And she later said, I did clean the whole house. You could at least say thank you. I was like, I'm going to smash another chair in about 2 seconds. I'm going to get out of this room. She came up. She's like, I love you so much, Daddy. Can I watch TV? I was like, wow, my sucker days are. Do you feel like,
Yeah.
Are you guys suckers or do you stand strong?
Depends on the thing. It depends on the
When
thing.
they show you, well, yours are still really young. When they're young, we're all suckers because
the cute factor still works, especially with the twins because they're 4 and also like they don't talk. So like when they like show emotion, I melt. Whereas the 7-year-old, he opens his mouth and I have to like very clearly look at what exactly constitutes child abuse on the CPS.
Yeah, I would say my husband is the sucker, and I'm the hard ass. I'm always the bad guy.
Yeah, I can see that. I took your class at UCB. I can see you're the hard ass.
Is she tough? Is Betsy tough?
That's how I met her. I took a UCB class out of nowhere.
Well, I know that's how you met her, but was she tough?
I told him to clean his room.
And she was like, in the class, she was like, literally, will you just shut up and sit in the back? It's really getting old. I'm trying to teach people, and it's really getting ugly.
No, but I'm all about. I was raised without boundaries or like consistency. So to me,
wait,
like,
go into that. What do you mean? How were you raised? By wolves
mostly by wolves or by like a crazy woman. So like, yeah, my mom's got borderline personality disorder and like no boundaries. And so it was just like, you never kind of knew what to expect and boundaries just kind of didn't exist. And so parenting a lot of times is like parenting in the dark. Like, I don't know how I have to invent boundaries and figure out how to be consistent, even though I never had that modeled.
Like, what's an example of no boundaries as a child? Could you just do anything you wanted to? Like, you were like, I'm gone for the weekend. And she's like, you're 12, have fun.
Not that. It was a lot of like, here's maybe an example. The first joke I ever learned was from my mom. And it was, I was 6 years old. And it was a joke about how this guy had a girlfriend named Wendy and had her name tattooed on his erect penis. And so when his penis wasn't erect, it just said W and Y. And then that guy was at a public bathroom one day. I'm 6, and sees another guy, a black guy, of course, with a penis that says W and Y. And he was like, oh my God, is Wendy cheating on me? And he says, what does it say on your penis when it's erect? And the guy says, it says, welcome to Jamaica. Have a nice day. Anyway,
I loved in the middle of it. I loved it. She'd already told us 2 or 3 times in the middle. She had to remind us in the middle. She goes, I'm 6. Anyway, that's one of my favorite stories I've ever heard on this show.
I had a similar thing.
Or were you like, what's an erect penis? I mean, it's 6. Were you like, what's what's a penis? B, what's an erect penis? And C, what is Jamaica?
Yeah, why does the man from Jamaica have a such a long phrase on his erect penis? Like, there's just so much, so just like stuff like that. My mom would talk to me like I was another grown up instead of like a child, which I get. Like, I talk to my kids in a very grown up way. I get that, but like not like that, not like that.
I'm gonna need that explanation, Katie.
Ooh, Katie, what?
That is a. By the way,
I hope she's kidding.
Pretty good joke. I mean, seems like she dragged it out a little bit. I think she could have tightened that joke up a little bit, but pretty solid joke. Was your mom super funny?
Yeah, my mom's funny. She's hilarious. And yeah,
I mean, obviously it did well for you because she must have known your future career because you're a comedic actor. And she's like, well, she must have seen it at 6 and go, let me start prepping this kid with some humor.
Yeah. She needs bits. She needs material.
She comes to you at 6 and you're like trying to go to sleep. She's like, Betsy, no, wake up. I got a couple premises I want to run by you. See if you can punch them up for me.
A Jewish guy, a Chinese guy, and no, what? Mom, I'm trying to sleep. Yeah. So yeah, I have been raised with like no boundaries, and so I was like, you know what I would have liked when I was growing up? Maybe some motherfucking boundaries. So I'm trying really hard to be like consistent. Just like my word is my oath. But my husband is like,
that's one of my biggest, like, when you co-parent and the other parent like threatens something and you immediately in the back of your head go, that's a terrible threat. That's not a threat we can ever follow through with.
Yeah.
We have like our friends asked, they were traveling out of town. So they asked if their daughter could sleep over our house on like a Saturday or something. And so that whole week, my wife was like, Hannah, if you don't behave, we're going to cancel the sleepover. And Hannah must see me just go, oh shit, that's not a good threat, man. And I would talk to her and I go like, hey, we have to take that kid. We can't.
Yeah. We're going to,
that's not a good threat. You cannot threaten things that you can't follow through with. Yeah. Even sometimes when I say I'm gonna, like when I melted on Hannah, and it was the one day we didn't have to get up at 7 o'clock to go to a swim meet or a soccer game. It was Sunday, so we had all slept in. And then like at 9, she just like lost her mind. And so I said, that's it. And she was like melting down about her stuffed animals. So I filled a bag with all of her stuffed animals and took it out to the trash.
Oh shit!
You pulled Mandy's mom.
Dude, she knows I'm not rebuying them. So she kind of knows I'm not throwing them out. She's like, whatever. And so I hid them in the garage for a while. And then she went looking for them. I had to hide the Halloween. Here, my wife I bought the bags of candy at Costco for Halloween. Mm-hmm. And I put them on the cupboard and I come back and there's like candy wrappers all over the house in my kids' bedrooms and everything. And my wife had opened the candy because she's the kind of person who opens their Christmas presents 2 weeks early. Drives me insane. So then I had to take the candy and go hide the candy. I had to hide all the boxes of candy because they can't control themselves. They're lunatics.
Jason, I talked over what did you say?
Oh, I said she opens the gifts 2 weeks early. I couldn't.
That's wild.
Dude, she's like the queen of like no patience. Now, I was the opposite. I would like when I got my Easter bunny that was chocolate. I would save it so long that all of a sudden November, I'd be like, I still have this. And I'd get to open it. And it would be like white and aerated and crumbly because it had basically rotted by then. I was the guy who saved and saved and saved and saved and saved and saved, which is why I've never been in debt. But I fear that may be coming to an end soon. I'm not sure because we
found out last year, Jace held a lot of his better candy and was trading for like Pokemon cards on the playground 2 weeks after Halloween when everybody else had finished theirs. So he had it as a he was basically, you know, a snack dealer on the playground in exchange for hot Pokemon cards.
By the way, that kid's gonna be a wheeler dealer. He's gonna be like,
I'm raising the second generation of Zach Morris. I'm well aware.
He's going to be like the guy in Glendale who's like, "Hey, buddy, do you want to buy some candy?" I go,
Speaking.
By the way, let's bring her in proper. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kate Mulligan, who's apparently had a very bad day. So listen, the purpose of this show is really to make all the audience feel better about what they're going through. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kate Mulligan, to make you all feel better about your life. What happened, buddy?
I want you to think of the dumbest thing you've ever done as a parent, like legitimately the dumbest thing you've ever done as a parent. And also, I was just saying to my husband as I walked in, I was like, I wish there was a word for this in the English language. Like, I wish, like, when you almost like have foreshadowing on an event, like you've maybe even said it out loud. You're like, oh, I shouldn't put the passport in my backpack, like whatever it is, or like you think it in your head. It's like foreshadowing, but you don't pay attention to it. Hi, Brandon. Hi, sweetie.
I'm sure there's a word
By the way, it's Brandon's birthday, October 30th. Brandon's almost happy birthday, buddy. We should do a birthday show just for Brandon.
Just for Brandon, our biggest fan ever.
No, he's the best.
We should have Brandon on to just show us some of his animation stuff.
No.
Oh, I would love that.
We'll all share some of the stupidest things we've ever done, but let's start with the absolute stupidest thing that any parent's ever done. The word is fail shadowing.
I love it. That's exactly it. Fail shadowing.
How is that not going to be in the dictionary soon?
It absolutely should be fail shadowing. I had a rough. So Dickie, my husband, went away for the weekend. He went away from Thursday, and he got back last night on Monday.
Really quick, he's coming back.
He's coming back. What?
You said he's gone for the weekend, but you said like the weekend, like he's coming.
Oh no, he was gone. No, he's already back. He came back last night.
Well, that's a
he
mistake.
Has to come back. It's his birthday tomorrow. How's he going to get his presents otherwise? Please, I wouldn't let him travel if it wasn't a present holiday coming up. No, I was kidding. Anyway, so I was sort of scrambling with the kids. We had all these things, but my son had a stomach virus on Thursday that then came back in the middle of Universal Studios on Sunday. So the way a virus works, like on Thursday, he was doing this. Betsy, you know where this is headed? By Sunday, it was this. But by Sunday, the virus had worked its way down.
Oh no.
It's a double ender. It's like
a double ender.
Yeah, it's like Requiem for a Dream with Jennifer Connelly, and they got the double ender going.
But it's also like we're supposed to put your kids on the brat diet when they're vomiting. You're supposed to give them bananas, rice, applesauce, toast. And then what you do is you just basically trap the virus inside them for days because now they're all binded up. And then middle of Universal Studios, I have to leave.
I believe it's bound. I believe the word is bound, but it's
bound. Okay, bound.
I didn't want to be that guy, but it's
the point is, my son was then sick yesterday. I had to take off I had to find a substitute because I'm Betsy. I don't know if you know this. I'm teaching now. I teach 4th and 5th grade special ed, and so I haven't had to do a sub this year. So I had to put in a sub because my husband's not here to take care of the kid, and I was just feeling bad for him. So he asked me yesterday. He has this. I'm so embarrassed about the story. There's like the fail shadowing that happened. Basically, he's really been into diamonds. He's like, I love diamonds. He calls crystals diamonds. When we went like to the Burbank Pride Festival, he's like, I want this crystal. I want this diamond. So he just wanted a bunch of crystals. He's got these rocks he likes to hold. He's like, he'll try my jewelry on. By the way, nobody in this family has expensive jewelry. My engagement ring is less than $2,000. I mean, which I'm sure people would be like, less than $2,000 is expensive still, which it is. But like, my sister-in-law has a $10,000 ring. Like, we're not in that. That's not where we're at. We're not even at 5,000. We're not even at 2,000, right? Anyway, the point is,
I'll share a story later then.
Oh,
okay,
God.
Yeah, it goes. Okay, anyway.
But he puts on my costume jewelry and all this. And so he says to me at some point, he's like, I really want a diamond. I'm like, you know what? I do have diamonds. Your dad's Aunt Margaret, and this happened while my husband was still home, left a ring that is too tiny for because I don't know why women were tinier back in the day, or I'm just a big lady. I don't know. But it was only a ring I could wear here. And it was this tiny little ring, probably not worth a crazy amount, but very beautiful Art Deco and like tiny little diamonds in a little row. I said, why don't you can wear Aunt Margaret's? And so he had a special place for it. He was putting it every night. So he loves the ring. So we cut to now we have to go to the grocery store yesterday while he's homesick from school. And he's got it on. I'm like, oh, here's the foul shadowing. I'm like, oh, we probably shouldn't wear that because it could get lost in the grocery store. And he was like, no, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold my hand like this. And I was like, I don't think that's good. I'm in my head. I'm like, I don't think that's going to work. And then I was like, oh, he just pooped his pants in the middle of Universal. And I should say peed his pants. He peed his pants. Right. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was just feeling like, God, this poor kid. I'm like, okay, just don't lose it. Like me saying it was going to make it not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how to tell you. The ring is not there. The ring's not at the grocery store. I called today. My husband's legitimately bummed out. This was his great aunt's, like one thing he had of his great aunt that I let my fucking kid wear to a grocery store. Like I swore. Like I have no
it's merited there. That's merited. Yeah.
What?
You can drop a couple bombs on that one, I think.
What's dumber? Who's dumber? Who's dumber than me? Go ahead. Could anyone beat that? Being a dumber parent than me? I don't think so.
I mean, to be fair, I very, very often, like my kid wants to bring like a stuffed animal or a water bottle into the store. And I go, no, don't do that. You're going to lose it. Don't do that. But listen, we've lost horrible things. We lost an engagement ring as well.
What? And I bet it wasn't under 2,000 because you said it was Tiffany.
I was on a TV show at the time.
Yeah.
I was on My Boys and I was getting some good weekly paychecks. And so, yes, it was a Tiffany ring. It was not cheap. And so we went to insure it, and insuring rings is very expensive. And so I did the math in my head and I said, well, listen, if we keep this ring for 10 years and we didn't like 9 years, if we don't lose it in 9 years, then we've won, because the math was you would basically after 9 years, you rebuy the ring with insurance. Yes. You're spending that much money to insure this ring. And so I rolled the dice and I got thrown out of the casino right through the window because she comes home one day and here's the crazy thing. She didn't lose the ring. She lost the diamond. The tines, I guess she must have hooked one of the tines on something and it bent and the diamond came out. So she had this empty ring of a Tiffany ring. And she was curled up in a ball for about 3 days, sobbing uncontrollably, like dry heaving, couldn't eat, like sobbing. And I was like beside me. So here's the worst part about it. You did, I tore the house apart for days. For 3 days, it was like looking for treasure. And I wasn't looking for a ring. I was looking for literally a diamond somewhere in the house for 3 days. Like we took the stove out. Dude, it was like Michael Keaton in Pacific Heights when he just tears that house. I took it apart piece by piece, the entire house. And yes, an old reference. I'm very old.
I was like, none of us were with you. I don't know.
He takes the house apart piece by piece by piece by piece. He basically, And so we never found it. And then I kind of gave Tiffany grief and I said, I blame them.
Yeah.
Because why take the blame yourself?
No, but also like I've banged this thing on every, my little jewelry shop and
she hooked.
I mean, the number of times I've banged this, it's the times have never. I guess I've lost one little guy. But.
Why are you wearing it? She'd wear it all the time, and I go like, why are you wearing this to work? I don't even wear my wedding ring. I put it on when I go on stage.
That's a different thing to unpack.
I don't listen. Here's why I don't tell anyone I'm married, because who knows I'm gonna be. I don't know what.
No, wait, hold on. Wait, go back. I'm sorry. Wait, okay.
No, I'm joking. I don't like jewelry, so I wear it when I go out. I wear it. I don't wear it.
I get a lot of shit for not wearing mine as well.
I don't like any jewelry on me. So
do you know what's funny? Sorry, I was gonna say Dickie stopped. Jimmy Fallon apparently got his wedding band caught in something and completely. I forget what it's called, but he skinned his entire finger. And
what?
Yes. Like you'll see, there's like a bunch of. Like this was months ago. But anyway, Dickie now wears a
People
silicone
think it's a
ring.
health risk.
It's a health
A
risk.
lot of people have the rubber one on.
Yes, that's what he has. He has the silicone one. Yeah.
And it's a Tiffany. I have a Tiffany ring. My ring was not.
Okay.
Yeah, I
was
made
gonna
some
say your ring
choices.
was more expensive than mine.
My wedding ring was.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't wear it very often because I don't love it. I don't love jewelry or anything. But anyway, so we kind of gave Tiffany's grief, and Tiffany's, to their credit, gave us the second ring at half price, which was still an exorbitant amount of money.
I bet it was still more than $2,000.
It was still more than $2,000. What is it? I love the whole. I don't even understand the whole diamond ring premise. It was like the diamond dude sat around one day and go, you know what we should do? Why don't we pitch this as an engagement ring? Like there wasn't like
that
100
is how
years
it
ago.
went.
It's exactly how it was. There was
Yeah.
De Beers did it. It's exactly right. They said, how can we sell these things? And they started this whole crap about engagement rings.
Awful,
and so now,
like, white South African family was like, let's get everyone to buy our blood diamonds. Let's tell them that they have to, that they're less than if they don't give their lady this on for an engagement ring. And we all fucking bought it, and I'm guilty, and we're all guilty. And
well, at least in mine,
I lost my entire first wife. I don't know whatever happened to her. She just disappeared.
Let me read Katie's really quick. Katie says, my dad lost his wedding ring one night while working at the restaurant. It was in the bottom of the box of butter singles when he reached to get some out. You never know where it might turn up.
I know. This is in both Jamie's case and in my case. I think the thing that makes me sad is not like, I'm not like, oh, at least somebody else will have it and it will mean something to them. Quite literally going through that store today, I'm like, if you lost it here, when somebody swept, it went into that vent. Like it's just gone.
Mine wasn't even a ring.
No one's
it's just a little stone that was very expensive.
Yeah.
That's why I have air tags on all my wedding rings and engagement rings.
What do you have?
You have what?
Air tags. Air tags.
Oh,
They're just looped on.
I thought
there.
she was serious. I was like, wait a minute, can you put an air tag on
in
a
like
ring?
10 years,
really
they will make them small enough to do that.
Here, you know the worst thing about the whole thing? Here's the worst thing is that when we got the second ring, guess what? I had to insure it. Yeah. I couldn't go through it again. So I bought the second ring and then we insured it, which means basically I've bought 3 rings. Yeah.
But wait a minute. Couldn't you insure it for the new price, for the cheaper price? So insure it for less?
No, they value it. It gets value. And here's the problem. If you insure it at the half price, that's what they're going to pay you.
Right. Then I know, but I'm saying like the chances of her losing 2 in a row.
The chances of losing 1 in a row. Yes. They're low.
God.
They're low.
But that thing, that foul shadowing, that is exactly right. When you were like, oh, should we insure it? Well, if we just don't lose it. So you like, no. And you're like, yeah, I guess if we lose it, it could be bad. But
I want to hear it stupid. Actually, Betsy, when you first came in, you said, I have a story to tell about your week. What happened to you? You had some crazy thing happen or something. What are you talking about?
Nothing bad. Something to talk about, period. I'm in this online moms group, and every year we go into the woods for a weekend, and everyone just gets like stoned, and we dance and scream, and that's what I did last weekend. And it was so like,
I know the group you're talking about because my friend Alana Cohn just posted about that. And then I saw that my friend Jen McCreary was in there.
Yes.
They don't take members anymore, this group, right?
Not really.
Yeah. It got closed. Also, I used to be in Story Pirates with Kimmy Gatewood. Which is like, I was just like, whoa, all of them. Well, I did not see pictures of you. That's amazing.
Listen, Mulligan, we'll all put a reference in. We'll see if we can get you into the group.
I
Betsy,
can't. It's not a thing.
I want to hear how the weekend. So a bunch of moms go into the woods.
Yeah.
Where?
There's a primal scream. There's a talent show. There's a dance party. Everyone's on mushrooms.
No dudes at all.
No.
Are you in tents? Where are you staying? Are you in a tent?
Cabins, like shitty cabins that are like for children.
Okay, I mean, by the way, as a filmmaker yourself, this feels like the opening of a horror film.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the twist is that the moms are the ones who are causing the horror.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
it
fact,
turns
there
out
was
there's a
another
bunch of
group-
dads there
Ugh. There was
who are being used as slaves, and they're eunuchs. They've been castrated, and they are being used as
Took a
slaves.
turn.
So
Took
again,
turn
a
with it.
bunch to
The
unpack here.
horror film, Jason. Where did you
I'm
think it
just-
was going to go?
But like
there
that
was
was like
a couple of buses with like middle schoolers, and we were all very upset about seeing that. No one wanted to see a fucking child.
no,
And there was another group there, and they were all like Christian women.
no.
Everyone's
Like-
high.
I just
Yeah.
I just picture you guys by the end of the weekend. Was it just hugs and like commiserating and being like, why did we do this to ourselves? And my
Yeah.
husband's an idiot, and I'm so angry at him, and
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't go back. Maybe we should
Betsy
stay
said
here
that
and
her
live forever
husband-
and start a commune and grow vegetables.
There's a lot of talk about a commune. Yes. Yes.
That sounds awesome, by the way.
She's
That sounds
looking,
really.
by the way, for the audio listeners, Betsy looked to see if the next thing she wanted to say was safe to say in the room that she was in. She said, "Look right."
That sounds kind of cathartic, actually.
It's super cathartic. Fuck yeah. I wish for every mom they could go away for a weekend and just
But
like
applications
scream in the
are
woods.
no longer being accepted.
Applications.
My wife
You
went
gotta
to
make your own group
Vegas.
now.
My wife went to Vegas with like 12 other moms for her birthday over a weekend, and then tried to
awesome.
act. They went clubbing, and I was like, "Yeah,
Oh
you're gonna look like 14 crazy moms at a club. This is insane."
no, not the way your wife looks, Kayla. They're gonna be like,
Mhm.
"Wow, that young broad, she's got
I mean,
it."
she did come back with a little hitch in her step, so I don't know what's happening, but she looked like she had some fun.
I just love that your idea of a horror story is like you're just like, and all of the men were completely castrated, and the women are in charge, and men don't have voices anymore. Wouldn't that be so scary,
Right.
guys?
No one murdered a mom. There was no. Suddenly,
What
men
if,
are
what
in
if
the story.
what if all the dads realized they used to have a career and now they're just saying, "Oh, yeah, who knows, guys?"
What if everyone was like, I used to be a respected human being, and now I made people who disrespect me on the regular. What if that happened?
Just
Horror!
spitballing. What if you found out that you basically bought 3 rings from Tiffany's because you bought one, lost one, got another one, and had to insure it? Just spitballing. Who knows?
Narcolepsy wants to know. Tell me you didn't bring expensive jewelry into those woods.
I left all my rings at home. I didn't want anyone to know I was married.
You know what the funniest thing is? The guys were probably like, "Oh, this is my favorite weekend of all time." Like they just put the kids on iPads in the other room. Like the kid, like literally was on an iPad for like 14 hours, and Ari was just sitting there drinking beer, watching football all
You
weekend.
think they're not already on their iPads at my house 24/7?
We're really trying to conquer it, and my daughter is like in tears because I won't get her Roblox. She's like 8 years old, and I haven't got her Roblox, but I apparently have to. I don't
They
know.
love
Roblox is-
Roblox.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually prefer Roblox to like the kids were like watching YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Like where it was like they were like watching Mr. Beast, and I was like, "Oh no, that's not happening anymore. We're not doing this anymore."
No?
And
Why
Yeah.
do you- like, my kids watch Mr. Beast. Is there something I should
We
be
don't know.
aware
They
of?
just like well, first of all, I think my kids are younger than yours.
I thought he was very philanthropic.
Yeah, that's what I
He
thought.
is. I think he is, but I think there's also like it's like bruh, like, and then like my kids would be like, "Oh, come on, bruh," and I was like, "Excuse me?"
I am tired of being called bra. I know my wife really hates being called bra.
Yeah, I was like,
It doesn't bother
no.
me whatsoever. I kind of dig it. I call my kids dude and bra all the time. I go, "Hey, bro,
I have
you gotta
heard you
pull
call
it
them
together,
dude.
dude."
It's just I don't know. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Beast, but like for my 8-year-old, it just felt like he was addicted in a weird way. Like he was genuinely just like, "Oh, I don't want to watch the big TV. I just want to watch Mr. Beast on my thing." We're like,
I love that you're shocked that your child was addicted to social media. I mean, we're addicted to social media.
No,
We
I
all-
know.
Like my wife.
I know.
My wife's, by the way, since what's been happening in the world, my wife, I go, she's like, "I'm in a terrible place these days," and I was like, "Yeah, you should get off social media, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, bro, pull it together." And my wife's like, she's like doom scrolling, and I go, "Buddy, you got to get off that thing." It's really
Yeah,
bad.
my 7-year-old is really addicted to YouTube. He watches a lot of like Minecraft programming and
Yes. Yes.
But then he
Or, like,
also watches like a lot of stuff where they're like talking about the fucking singularity and black holes, and like he'll, you know,
oh, that's cool.
it giveth, it taketh.
Yeah.
We
I'll
watched
tell you that
my
Fortnite's kind of cool because you get to they get like just pick different games that they want to play. And I always feel like I prefer like an active thinking or moving thing to like but I don't know. Who knows? I'm just
my
saying
daughter was watching
I'm in your kid's
YouTube
court.
Kids. My daughter was watching YouTube Kids on Sunday morning, and she was watching, and I go, "What are you doing? What are you watching this crap or whatever?" So I start watching the video with her, and the video is literally a history of how far humans have dug into the earth.
Oh,
It was one of the most interesting videos I've ever watched.
I'm
It was
into
like 8 minutes long, and it was super deep, and it was shocking how far. There's one that's only 9 inches long. It's the longest hole they've ever dug into the earth. It's like 29 inches wide, but 20 miles deep. Insane.
I heard it that way
Like
too. I'm
getting near and it gets to a point where the drill bit is so hot because it's so deep into the earth that you cannot drill any further or something. And it was so interesting of how far there were certain caves in like Turkey that went down to something or other. And I'm reading that. And we're talking about digging or whatever. And the kids are like, yeah, we should. I go. And so all of a sudden I'm like, the guy is like, oh, they're going to bury themselves and suffocate or whatever, like that terror. And so I was talking to Claire and I was saying, you can't, you never dig in a snowbank or on the beach. Kids try to dig in the hole and it caves in on them and they all suffocate and die.
Yes.
And I was doing the best I can explain that without like, do you not know that, Betsy?
I mean,
I grew up in New Hampshire and it was a big thing because kids would dig in the snowbank.
I remember this
every
happened
year.
a couple years back.
Every year, like 4 or 5 kids
It was
around
like Santa
the
Monica.
area.
I want to say it happened.
They
or
dig an
something.
ice fort into this giant 12-foot snowbank, and it would invariably collapse and kill them. It would kill them.
Yeah,
Or the
Minnesota
kids
It
would
happens
be-
here, but mostly with adults.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a
Unfortunately, I mean, Kate, you've been here. I mean, it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
terrible,
no,
but-
it's dude.
Not that
Every
sad,
store I went
really.
into, no one had front teeth. I was like, okay, first of all, like I'm not sure what's happening on your to-do list, but whatever. Replace front teeth should go right to the top of any to-do list on any human. That can't be just me.
what?
And I know crystal meth is a very popular drug, but at some point you've got to go, I need front teeth to be part of society. It's just, that's how I roll.
Listen, Jamie, if your wife had just not replaced her wedding band, do you know what I'm saying? If she had just not replaced, she would be. It's the metaphor for she lost her teeth. She just didn't replace them. You know what I'm saying?
It was my kids.
It's expensive. You're gonna lose them again. You know.
Listen, you can just put something up there. So we were having a conversation, whatever, and then later that night, my wife is like, "Did you tell Claire she was going to suffocate under the earth or something?" I go, "What?" And so it had been like it was like the game of telephone. By the time all of a sudden I was like this weird evil dude who was like, "You're going to suffocate under the earth." It was. I was like, "No," I tried to explain the whole digging the thing down.
I also feel like
parenting is so hard sometimes because you have different mindsets of how to raise children. You need to have a standardized test of like 1,000 questions. And if you don't get the same questions right, you are not allowed to marry and have children because people think different ways of like my wife probably wouldn't throw a chair around the room to get her kids to do something, but I did.
For the audio listeners, right on cue, Betsy's son just came into frame to take an iPad off the bed and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Odie. You gonna watch?
I'm so
YouTube
intrigued by Betsy's weekend away, and I know Mulligan is so jealous that she's not part of that group.
Well, it's not even just for that weekend. It's just a very groovy group of people. All right, but here's the good thing. I know them outside of the group, so it's okay. I get to know them all.
Well, listen, Mulligan, if you get your credit list up and maybe work with a publicist for a while and really boost your Q rating, I'm sure somebody might let you in the group.
I don't know if I told you guys, the other reason I have to take off of school soon is because Carlos Alazraki's shooting a film that he put me in.
You're going to be in a
That's
film?
awesome.
I'm going to be in a film.
Congratulations.
But also, how does that work with the strike? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, they have to have a SAG waiver.
They do, right?
They do need to have one, yes.
Yeah, and they're like, well, nobody's getting paid. And I was like,
well, listen, the strike's probably going to be over within a month. So if you're not shooting for the next month or so, you should be.
Well, yeah, actually,
Okay,
within a month. I don't know that it is going to be over in a month. I feel like
it might push.
They're
I think
gonna
it's
make-
early December, but we'll talk about that.
If you're
Can I
not
share
gonna do-
something with you that my daughter did? This is, and by the way, I really want to explore the moms in the woods thing. I think that is really, how is that not that show? That's fantastic.
Yeah, it should be a movie, horror or otherwise. You're right.
I mean, my wife, the weekend she went to Vegas, all week she kept going, "Are you okay? It's okay. Are you gonna be okay that I'm going to Vegas?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
be
be
just
fine.
fine."
Yeah.
And it was arguably one of my favorite weekends I've ever lived.
You did seem
my
very
daughter,
happy.
my daughter is learning cursive, and so she's been giving me notes in cursive. And she wrote me a note that said, "Dad, I think you're awesome. Love, Claire K."
Oh,
Like she put the K, like Claire K.
who knows?
But here's my dilemma, and here's my question.
Another Claire kid.
She's like Claire K. Just in case you know any other 8-year-old Claires who.
Jamie, stop right there. I want us all to guess what we think your dilemma might be.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I think your dilemma is going to be to tell her that she's the wrong or not.
Correct.
Oh, my dilemma. Oh God, Mulligan.
It was either that or the words
was
went off the
so-
line slightly.
I'm so broken inside because I immediately saw it and I wanted to say, "Hey, you misspelled this."
She's what, second grade?
Third.
Third grade.
That's really good for a third
It's
grader.
really good for third. Also, listen, awesome spelled wrong
What do
too.
you
That
think
being
I
said,
did,
listen,
Mulligan?
That M is fucked. I mean, there's lots of ways we can pull this apart.
Awesome. It's actually an R going into an M is what it looks like. Or no, it's like an N going into an M. She's
Awesome.
bless her.
Oh, it's like an Australian person said it. Awesome.
Awesome.
Boy, it's awesome. It's awesome, mate. That's funny.
Oh my God. That's
So she's
really
been writing
sweet,
notes.
though.
She's the one I don't throw chairs at. She's the good one.
I missed something.
Which one's the good one? The younger or the oldest?
Yeah,
Younger.
the younger is. Isn't that weird? It's normally the other way around. I know. Is
That's
that you're the
in your
same?
family?
Yeah, he gets away with a lot of shit because I'm like, oh. Yeah.
Colleen says, "I mean, the fact that they are teaching cursive in your school is a win." I
Huge.
mean, part of me thinks the same way, Colleen, but part of me also is like, she's never. I mean, you're never going to use it. It's going to be an art, like if you're making posters or something. I don't know. And even then, you can use a font.
Can you sign your signature in Just Print, or can't you? I mean, I still have to sign a signature that way with cursive.
Jason, hot tip. If you wanted to, your legal signature could just be an X.
That's
True.
true.
What?
Yeah.
So if anyone ever gives you shit about your signature, just tell
Oh,
them.
I get shit about it all the time
Yeah.
because it looks like pandas wrote it.
My husband's signature is basically just an R that goes for a long time. Dad. Claire
Aww.
Kate. Oh, she put hearts to dot the I.
She puts a heart on her eye. She's Dad, Claire Kaler.
That's a really good R in the
He
Claire.
knows
That's a
you
really good
are
art.
her bitch.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys about punishing your children. So the problem is, I don't want to. Claire gets caught as collateral damage because Hannah, I have to pull like no iPad, no TV, no anything, and then Claire's like, "Well, can I use my iPad?" And I'm like, so like when I didn't let her use it, and then Hannah went to swim practice, and I was like, "Here's your iPad, go have fun."
Yeah.
And stuff. But I feel like sometimes you want to punish one, but the problem is if you feel like you're punishing the other one by punishing the first one.
You don't punish the other one. That's my thing. That's the whole thing about.
Well, I know, but she can't watch TV in the living room while the other one is still here because the other one's like, you know.
If you get
watching
pulled
TV.
over for a DUI, they don't take away everyone's licenses. They just take away your license.
Oh my God, Jamie, did Claire get a DUI?
She got a DUI.
Oh my God.
Dad,
I'll
But she
show it
spelled
to you.
it DEI, which is.
She did. She did.
So we had to tell her that.
But
This is not
DUI in
diversity,
cursive
equity,
looks
inclusion.
really cool, by the way. Pretty good.
In my experience, sometimes it's more just like, well, you can lean over and watch what they're doing, but you're just not in control of whatever everyone's viewing.
That's
It's not
bad.
great. It's not great. I don't know. I'm
It's
not
a tricky thing because you want to punish the one, but you're like, you almost want to reward the other one more so.
Yes.
To go like, here, look who's getting buckets of gold, not
Yes.
you.
Yes. I think that's fair.
I don't know.
Then
I
they'll stop
honestly, some
making that
days
same
I'm
mistake.
just waiting for social services to show up and go, it's over. This grand experiment has ended.
Man, I
And we're
report
taking
you
your
weekly, but nothing ever comes of it.
No,
Dude, I'm reporting myself, hoping they'll take those children, but they don't. And I keep saying it's like a self-report. I go, hey, listen, man, I'm a terrible parent. You should come and take my kids away. And they're like, no,
See, I
no, they're
think it's a
yours. I go,
catch-22, bro, because I think because you're reporting yourself, it makes it look like you're doing the job.
True.
And also,
Very, very
Jamie,
true.
I have a different way of doing this. You just call up social services and you say, I would like to report myself. And they're going to say, like, okay, how old are the children? And you'll say 10 and 8. And they'll say, how old are you? And you'll say 59. And they'll say, yeah, they definitely should not be with you. You are way too old for those children.
Very
And that's how they'll
true.
take them away.
I thought you were gonna say, oh, they're 10 and what is it, 10 and 12?
10 and 8.
10 and 8.
10 and 8, and they'll just be like, oh, you know what? I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, they're
That's
old
a s-
enough to read your medic alert bracelet onto the 911 caller, right? Like, they're old enough for that.
What's funny is, so I signed them up for CPR.
Oh my God, are you afraid are you gonna have a stroke and you want them to give you CPR?
Well, eventually, yes. Eventually, yes, I'm going
I
to.
did not follow. I was like, what's funny about that? And now I understand it was literally
get
for
it?
yourself.
And actually, I'm going to use it as a joke. I'm going to write it into a joke. But the truth is, Kate said, "Hey, she's running. My wife's running the Girl Scouts troop, and she goes, hey, I'm having the kids go learn CPR." And I go, thank God. Oh man, that's gonna honestly that might come in handy. This is, oh my God, this is a crazy story. My brother had 2 kids, and then my brother's 20 years older than me. He's very, very much older than me. And they, in their neighborhood, they had a woman. They had a woman they knew who had a son, and she had some issues, and so they kind of ended up taking him. At first, they were just watching him. They were like a retired couple, and they were watching this young boy and taking care of him. And then the mother started to go off. She had issues. She had drug issues or whatever, and she was off doing other things. And they eventually ended up taking him with consent. They didn't just kidnap him and chloroform her. They took the son. He started to live with them. He was a teenager. He was late teens, almost in college.
Bless that.
And my brother had a widowmaker dropped watching the Notre Dame game. Sean Patrick, if he's watching, they were losing one game, and my brother, his wife was upstairs, sound asleep, but the son that they had kind of had taken over and helped was in the bedroom next door and heard him fall, and came in and CPR'd him until the emergency people came. I'm going to tear up, and saved his life. He would have been, they were like, nobody survives this. It was a total widowmaker. A piece of plaque came off and shut everything down and locked it up.
Is his name Tom Connolly?
It's Tom Connolly.
Also, I'll be honest, I thought a widowmaker was a kind of gun for most of that story.
Yeah, no, it's a heart attack. It's a full-on, full-bore heart attack. And the dude, but honestly, it's like a gun to the heart.
It's so much about Betsy. You're like, yeah, all the men were castrated. And she was like, oh God, if there was a gun in the house.
Right now, Claire's writing that in cursive, widow.
I only know about Widowmaker because mine and Jamie's
crazy. I was always like, they called and told me he was gone. He was dead. He was not going to make it. And we were like, oh, working on putting it together. And then he came out of it, but only because the young man that he had kind of taken his life over and helped him and now he's putting him through college and everything. And the kid's amazing, Jackson. He saved my brother's life. And it was the craziest story. Isn't that the craziest story? It's so crazy.
Also, that's amazing. Is that your eldest brother? He's the oldest of all of the kids.
My brother, no, I have a sister who's older. So that we had 6 kids over 20 years. So there were 5 kids over 12 years. 5 kids over 12 years. And then 8 years later, I came along.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I always say I'm an only child of 6. Yeah. My poor father. My poor father must have been like, I'm sorry, what? What did you say? I'm not hearing you correctly. I'm sorry, what? That poor dude.
I'm so confused about, like, obviously you love your brother, but like he was 20 years older than you, so you probably never lived with him.
He was I want to say a sophomore at Notre Dame the year I was born.
Oh my God. Are you close
Yeah.
to him? Really?
We still chat. There are differences in our opinions of life, pretty drastic differences, but we don't talk about it, and I move on with life.
Yeah.
And there's some crazy stories I've told, but listen, most of this country, people like in their family, like we all must have relatives that we do not agree with anything politically or anything that they think about. And he's a former admiral. My brother's a retired admiral. I'm very proud of him and what he's done for this country. But
wow.
I don't agree with a lot of his thoughts, but we love each other and we're brothers and we get past it. And I'm always amazed when people have family that they're like, I don't talk to them. I hold a grudge, and you're like, life's too short, dude. So yeah, we don't talk about certain things, or we discuss it and we move on, but we have very different thoughts about life. So it goes.
Is he the reason why you went to the Navy?
He is, and he was a huge part of why I got a ROTC scholarship, actually, because when I applied, the fact that my brother had taken a ROTC scholarship at Notre Dame and was already he was like a captain by that point of ships, and he had huge commands. Yeah, he was a big deal. He's a 1-star admiral. It was a big deal. And so amazing. I got the scholarship. Really, probably they were like, well, his brother did this, so maybe he'll succeed in it and stuff. So and we were always, he was kind of the stalwart that held the family together. Yeah.
They're like, there's no way this guy's going to become an actor. He's just going to be a military man, career military man.
Yeah. We also grew up 20 years apart, and we grew up in different states, and it's crazy but we look alike. We're very similar, and we're similar in the way we are, except our belief system. But it's kind of crazy. Isn't it crazy when you have family and it's just like, I'm always amazed when people like lose their mind and won't talk. It's like, life's too short. I don't know.
That's what Freddie B was saying. That his dad didn't talk to him over a year because they don't agree on politics.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Betsy Stover said, I'm so sorry, Freddie. And then Colleen.
I'll be honest, I don't talk to my mother.
You don't.
But that's
she doesn't send you little jokes. She doesn't tell you. Wait, Mulligan, you weren't here for the joke.
No, she missed it.
Oh my God. Her mother has no boundaries and told her the most dirty joke when she was 6 years old about an erect penis and a tattoo. It's insane. So you don't talk anymore.
No, that's
so sad.
I couldn't be a healthy person with her in my life.
You know what? That's also a really good call to make.
I get that too. And listen, I have negative influences I've kind of cut out, but I totally get that.
Yeah.
When was the last time you spoke?
Maybe about 5 years ago.
Wow. You're just straight up no contact.
Nah. She sees.
Do you ever see a day with your kids when your kid? I can't even imagine that with my kids, where I reach a point where I just don't. I'm not part of their lives. I would, as a parent, I feel like it's my job to bend to them. Really, I'm always amazed when kids are like, my parents are like this, and they're so set in their ways. Whereas a parent now, I'm like, I know what I was like as a kid. It's really my responsibility as the parent to go, hey, listen, let's forget about all this crap, and let's just we're blood. We're blood. I brought you into this world. You're part of me, and let's make this work. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, she's got I don't know if anyone out there has experience with borderline personality disorder, but it's a real fucking doozy. A lot of times people don't get help because they don't even they can't even admit that they have it, and even when they do, it's really hard to treat. But
did you say she sees your kids though?
She does, or she did for a while, until we found out that she had been lying about getting her COVID shot and wearing a mask on the plane before she visited us and stuff.
Yeah, that's tough. Because this is the thing. Wherever people are about it now, it doesn't matter. It's whatever people's personal boundaries are about it. And if you've worked for years on end to prevent this thing, it's really tough. It's really tough.
That's what if you believe something, then stand strong and go, hey, I don't agree with you. And if you don't want me to do something, then I won't do that. But this is the way I believe. And
Yeah.
Right.
When you start lying is when you really start to break down trust.
Ugh.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring the room
Well,
down.
I was the one
No,
that kept
honestly, that's-
firing. Sorry.
Honestly, that's kind of what this. I mean, this is what this is all about. Is because we, I mean, all of us, even today, we laughed about it, about like trying to get to the show. Like, Jesus Christ. Speaking of which, Jason, I wanted to chat with you for a second about Jason's sons are going through some shenanigans as well right now.
We started.
Jason's
Well, these are good
sons.
shenanigans. And these are all. This is a great thing I'm about to say.
Oh.
My twins started their new ABA therapy school this week after months of fighting with the insurance companies. We
Yay.
got it pushed through. On Anthony's first day, he said 3 new words very clearly. He said pepper, which is 2 P's, which is not something, we he said slippers.
Another double P.
And my favorite of the 3 words, he said pie.
Oh.
Lots of P's. I love it.
Yeah, they're working on that with him. And Logan, instead of just demanding and shrieking the word car, they said, "What would you like?" And he said, "A car." Which for
Nice.
Logan is huge.
Yeah, that's
So
huge.
they are. We got, the school is awesome. They've been sending pictures every couple of hours of what they're doing. The twins rush in the morning. They don't want to, like, they're hesitant to leave at the end of the day. So they're happy there.
Is this the one that's really far away, Jason? Are you driving a bunch of times?
No. We were able to fight with the insurance to get them here locally.
Oh, thank God. Okay, great.
It literally is right next door to the Sayre Theater, which is
Oh.
right by Melissa's work. And as you know, I'm at the theater all the time. So
Yeah. Oh,
it's-
that's fantastic.
it's perfect. And I'm really excited about where this is headed.
Oh,
Nice.
it's
Jason,
great.
can you tell me what ABA stands for?
Applied Behavioral Analysis, I believe. So basically, it is a very strict 40-hour-a-week scheduled therapy sessions, and it's all play-based. So Logan, they've figured out, responds very well to car, plane, train, and any vehicle-related play. So they're tailoring all his therapies to things he enjoys, so he then responds to the treatment.
That's awesome.
Is there a way they could make it like 120 hours a week? Is that possible?
Well, see, the insurance is fighting me on that. I did push for it.
Jason, you have to have a diagnosis to get into an ABA school, right?
Yes.
So
which
is it
why-
an IEP? Is it a 504? Like, what did you have to get in order to get in?
Well, so in the state of Pennsylvania, we needed a medical diagnosis,
Oh, you did? Okay.
and so I don't know how much I've told you recently. They have a genetic mutation that was found. The NA1CA gene is mutated, meaning that when they were forming in the womb, their bodies did not process calcium correctly, and so it caused this developmental delay. And because of that, they were able to get in right away. I mean, the
Great.
diagnosis is exactly what we needed to push them where they needed to go.
Are they no longer thinking autism? Are they thinking just specifically?
There are still a lot of, so they're not ruling it out because
Yeah.
there are still a lot of pieces of that puzzle on the table.
Yeah.
But they said they need a little more time and study before they'll make that call. So,
This
but
is
they,
Awesome, dude.
yeah, I got very emotional when they sent the videos yesterday of them, like Anthony, like answering those questions, and Logan, like using a 2-word anything. Like, it was just, it was just a huge win for us this week with
Oh, that's great.
tomorrow we go to the cardiologist for the twins to start down that road, and then Thursday we go to the MRIs to start unpacking all of these things and hopefully get the answers we need to
Ugh.
further help them better and kind of give us an idea of what we're dealing with here.
And then Friday,
Dude,
you
that's
take
awesome.
them to the woods to get them high on mushrooms and do a primal scream.
Yeah.
Wait, can I
No?
join the group? I want to
No,
be. In the,
sorry.
what if I was the one
Applications
dude?
are
in the
closed.
group?
Applications are closed.
Yeah.
I'll be. I mean, I'm not going to eunuch it, but I'll slave it.
We
I'll
have
slave it.
we do have a bring a friend weekend, which I probably could get you in on. I can't guarantee your membership, but I can get you in for the one day.
Dude, that's really great news, Jason.
That
It's so
is
good. And honestly, we did the show with Mindy Sterling's son and stuff, and you know, we laugh and we joke, but I love this kind of stuff because so many people that I talk to are like, hey, that really helped me because my kids are going through the same stuff. I think
Mindy has been since she was on the show, has been such a great resource for me.
We gotta have him
like,
back.
We've been chatting, and she kind of has pointed me in some directions, and she's been so supportive, and like because I know what she's been down a very similar road, and her and Max have been fantastic.
And she kind of did it by herself too, which is crazy, but
Which is amazing.
all right. Hey, to bring it home tonight, can we talk about Halloween for a little bit?
Sure.
You know, apparently you guys are starting to learn that Claire loves to write Dad some cards. And so she goes, Dad, I made you a bookmark. And this is it. It says, if you're listening to this on iTunes, that it's a little card that says Happy Halloween, and there's a ghost with 2 pumpkins on it. But here's what's great. On the other side, she wrote all the reasons I love Halloween. And I mean, and again, Kate, what bothered me most about this?
See, I love dressing up. Sorry. You have to put it up a little. Is it
I'm showing
Ressens?
you exactly.
Is it Ressens that bothered you?
She misspelled reasons. She spelled it RESONS. So
rip it up. Rip it up, baby.
I didn't give her grief about it, but I'm always like, She
also misspelled Halloween, but doesn't even bother you.
Hollow.
She misspelled Halloween here too. Yeah.
Also, by the way, hollow makes more sense. Like
it makes way more sense. You know what?
Halloween.
She's right. It is Halloween. Right. From now on, I will spell it
Halloween.
So I'm going to tell you what she wrote, and then I want everyone to talk about what they're doing for Halloween and why. I always, for kids, it just is one of the best holidays. They just love. I mean, it's not just the candy. I think we went Halloween shopping the other day for costumes. We'll talk about that too. So, here's her all the reasons I love Halloween. She says, "I heart dressing up."
Yes,
I get it. Yeah,
so number one, absolutely.
She goes, "I love walking up to people's house and getting candy." Just that.
Which is why I do it 365 days a year. Wait, Claire, what? Claire,
it's not any. It's people's house, not houses. It's people's house. And then number 3, I think it's pretty obvious. You know what she likes? Decorations with numerous exclamation points. And then, this is my favorite. She goes, number 4, feeling the Halloween spirit.
Oh, she's felling it. She's really felling it, you guys.
By the way, this is legitimately my new favorite. I might laminate it. It's like my favorite bookmark of all time, and it's been in my book for the last.
And I don't know if I don't want to make this about gender if it's not, but my son's the same age as Claire. They're in the same grade. The way that Claire writes is so superior to the way that my son writes. It's like I actually brought home special graph paper that we use with some of my special ed kids because they don't, there's like an occupational therapy issue with like spacing sometimes, and my son just put his letters directly on top of each other, and I'm like, nope, put one letter in a box, one letter in each box. Like it's wild that's how she's got great handwriting.
Yeah, we're dealing with my other one. We were sending her to Mathnasium. She's been bombing math tests lately, and I'm like, so we might have her. There's a girl who's a babysitter who's super smart, and we might have her tutor a little bit. I don't know, because here's the problem.
What is Mathnasium again, Jamie?
Mathnasium hasn't been helping me. I don't know why.
But what
I don't want to go. Give me my money back. Here's an F.
Tutoring thing, and they like play games
specific for math.
Oh, it's like Kumon. It's like a math tutoring house where you go in. It's I don't know. It can be good, but it's all of a sudden she comes out with like a donut. And she's like, it's donut day at Mathnasium. I'm like, why are you giving my kid a donut, dude? I don't know. I guess our sponsorship deal with Mathnasium has just fallen through at this point.
It's just also the things that
not a sponsor.
Listen, Halloween is the topic. What is happening with you guys with Halloween? Are you ready?
I finally decorated my house.
Yes.
That was like a big thing weighing on me. Got to get all the decorations out, although they keep falling down, but that's another thing.
Spooky. What was that noise? Oh,
that decoration fell. My youngest last year won the costume contest at his school. And
the pressure.
he is like, I am gonna win this again.
What was the costume last year?
He was a robot, like an old school robot, like in a box,
Like Lost in Space?
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Danger Will Robinson. That's awesome.
Yes, like that same kind of like that tubing. That
Yeah.
Like from Pacific Heights, right?
Yeah, from Pacific Heights, exactly. We all recognize that movie.
Well played, Mulligan. I had that coming. You're right. I had that
Keaton
coming.
remembers that movie. We all do. So yeah, that's what he was last year, and now he's like, I'm gonna be extra robot. I'm gonna win it again. Which is a tall order to win again for the same costume, but just slightly different.
But they also probably are like, okay, so won it last year, so we got to pick somebody
AI
else.
is big in the news now, so maybe with the AI in the news, he'll hit home. Maybe it'll bring home the point.
Yeah, dress up like AI.
Betsy, I forget what part of town you live in. You don't have to say it, but is it a big?
It's very close to you, Ding Dong.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, ding dong.
oh, we're in the same city.
I'm in Los Angeles.
You're not in an area.
Let's
Are
put
you
in
part of
private
LA?
chat.
Hey, why don't you
Unified?
guys share this over a private chat so you don't
No,
start
I'm
telling
not. I'm
everyone
not
where you live?
asking.
We're in Koreatown in Los
Oh, okay.
Angeles. Koreatown.
Okay. She's not that close to me, weirdo.
Did you move, Betsy? Did you move?
No, never. Haven't ever. I haven't moved my whole life. No, I haven't moved like the last 10 years. So I've been in the same place.
I love that.
Okay.
Before Jamie admits he was wrong, he's going to say that you moved since he remembered.
I've
where
been to
you
her
lived.
house. I've been to her house.
Oh, did you come to my house to do the?
Yeah, I went to your
podcast?
house. I thought you
It
lived
was
near
my
Mulligan
house,
out
not
in.
my partner's
I
house.
thought you were Burbank. You're kind of Burbanky.
No, that's my old who I did my podcast with. She lives in. Burbank.
Oh, that was where you
Wow.
did the podcast. Okay.
Okay, so
I'm
now we've just outed
stand
where I
corrected.
live. Thank you so much.
No,
I
I
stand
don't live in
corrected.
Burbank. I am a broke person.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Mulligan, these
Yeah.
people who watch the show regularly know how bad your internet is. Nobody's coming for you.
Everybody's
Yeah, no
Mulligan.
one's going for
Mulligan goes off on tangents where it's just a personal conversation.
So
What are your kids going to be for Halloween, Jason?
the eldest Spawn created controversy because he derailed my wife's family costume ideas and did not want to go with the flow.
Oh.
It happens when they get older.
It
Yeah.
did. And so like I was like, we knew this day would come. And then the twins and Melissa and I were going to be a unit, and Jace all of a sudden like is trying to weasel his way back into the group, and we have changed the costumes, and I was like, there's not a fifth, you're out. And he is trying his desperate like to find a connecting thing, so he may create his own obscure character that fits within the mythology.
What are you?
Yeah,
What are you guys
you
gonna
gonna
do?
say what
Can't
it is?
tell you. It has to be unveiled later.
Okay, I would just like to say, if it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
We
you
did that
can
already.
always have Splinter or April O'Neil. That's for if it's the Beatles, you can always have Brian Epstein. Okay,
If you're the Cosby Show, one of you could be Alvin.
thank you. And none of you
no
should be
one
Bill.
would ever want that.
What? Why not?
Alvin? He made Mrs. Huxtable so angry.
Okay, fine. You can be Sandra. It doesn't matter. Listen, one of you can be Kenny. The point is there
I
are
am
options.
I'm a firm Vanessa.
If
Fair.
it is, I can't think of anything else with 4.
None of those references hit home.
The
with me.
Sex and the City lady.
I had no idea
If
what you were
it's-
talking about.
If it's the seasons, one of you can be a monsoon, because in the Philippines they have a monsoon season. Okay, just
Oh my gosh.
know that whatever you think there's only 4 of, you can add a 5th.
Jason,
We're
if
teaching
your
the lesson.
family was Sex and the City characters, who would you be?
I'd be John Corbett. Wait, what?
Oh,
Can you be that or no?
Jamie, I feel like you're more of a. I feel like you're more of a
Mr. Big?
No, who's the main character? Carrie.
Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yeah.
Very.
That would be really funny. One year we went as Spice Girls. When I worked at O'Brien's, 5 guys, we dressed up as Spice Girls.
Oh.
And which one were you?
Ugly
Ginger?
Spice.
Ginger.
of course I'm Ginger Spice. I was Ginger
Yeah.
Spice.
Slutty Spice.
Also,
For the
Betsy,
win.
to answer your question, I think I would fall. I think I'm Charlotte.
I agree. That's what I pegged you as well.
You're
You are
I
Charlotte.
don't know
You're
Sex and the
absolutely
City,
Charlotte.
but I can tell you who I am from The Wire. Does that HBO show count?
You're
Who are you
Stringer
on
Bell.
The Wire?
You're Stringer Bell.
It's funny. I would like to say that I'm Omar because my bark is worse than my bite, but also that's not quite true. I
You're
want to just
Bubbles.
be and Bubbles.
Bubbles.
That's who I am. I'm Bubs.
You're totally Bubbles.
And or
you know what? You're making me want to go back and watch that show again. That
it's
show
the great.
is
You
so
should
good.
because
I
it's
love it.
you'll never.
I saw
regret
Bubbles
it.
on the street the other day. It was very exciting.
He lives in
he's
Silver
the
Lake.
best.
I saw him at the Silver Lake
Martin.
Trader Joe's. Anyway,
He gets around.
That's so
So,
funny.
Jason,
we were at we took the girls costume shopping on Burbank on Magnolia there, and that's like Halloween Town or whatever. And we go in, and I begged them to be the two girls from The Shining because I wanted to be Jack
Nicholson.
Torrance, and I wanted my wife to be Shelley Duvall, which is weird because then there's no Danny. There's no Danny. It's just all of a sudden we're with the two crazy girls, right? It's like kind of weird thing. But I was gonna have an axe and I was gonna like try to slick my hair back and do that whole thing, and then have her be Shelley Duvall. And Claire literally was like, "No, I will not." She was like, put her foot down and was like,
"I'll put it in writing." No,
I am
Show
not
them The Shining, Jamie. Then they'll want to be those characters. Make
show
them
her The
watch
Shining, like your mother.
movies.
I'll tell her some dirty jokes about The Shining.
Yeah.
All right, Betsy's gonna know what my costume is just by me putting this on, but I don't know that the boys will.
Britney
Ready?
Claire
Spears.
had a moment last year. She
fourth
was a
grade women are
pirate,
doing this.
and then she got embarrassed. She was like, "I'm so embarrassed." And then you know when kids do that, like 3 weeks before Halloween, they buy. Oh my gosh! Wait, what are you? That is
I'm a Rockford Peach.
Oh, the League of
She's a
Their Own.
Rockford Peach, yeah.
Rockford Peach.
Of all the times that Justin is not here to say
I know.
baseball.
baseball.
Look at that.
Our buddy's
I
been
love
doing the
it.
show
Is your
lately,
whole family
Justin
gonna be-
Ruppel, who's like crazy
No,
impressionist,
school.
but he's at Death Cab for Cutie at the Hollywood Bowl tonight
Oh, lucky. That's what I'm jealous of.
with the Postal Service.
Well, yeah, because Ben Gibbard's in both.
I know.
He's
That's
like,
not-
all right, calling out now. Now I'm going to call out the Postal Service. I guess I'll stay.
Totally didn't catch that at first. I was like, wait, Justin went with the U.S. Postal Service to the
Yeah.
concert? Like, how did that happen?
That's a good costume. Do you have the whole? Are you?
I have, well, yeah. So basically, the fourth grade teachers were like, what should we be? And then one of them's like, a league of their own. And then this was like this. There's this one teacher who I'm like, your math ain't mathin', honey. She was like, okay, so we could do these t-shirts for like $30 and then like do a hat. And I was like, so like we're looking at like $38. I'm like, or we could get these $39 costumes on Amazon. And she's like, oh, that's way too expensive. I'm not doing that. I'm like, okay. So, so to not have the skirt or a belt, you want to have a t-shirt from Etsy and a hat for $38 for $1 more.
$1.
Suddenly, it's too expensive. Okay, you get it.
Math is
So
It's a hard
the math
line,
is flawed in that equation.
I'm like,
but I do expect. I do respect her conviction.
yeah. She was like, yeah, that's way too expensive. I was like, okay.
Well,
I think the truth is, it ends up that it's that the skirts are short, like the dress is short. It's not supposed to be. It's just like, you know, it's made for women that are not American tall. For being honest, you know what I mean.
oh, is
I'm
it
not sure what
made
that
for
means.
smaller women?
I think it's made for smaller women. I think it's made for
Dwarfs?
Anyway.
Like a
Got
midget?
it.
Point is, just put some leggings under it. You don't have to be
Like a pygmy?
slutty.
Like a pygmy person? Costume?
But, yeah, like an Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa.
But my
All
kids
right,
are.
let's
my
leave on
kids-
this. What are you guys doing about candy this year? What's your plan for candy?
No one ever fucking comes to our house. There's like
Really?
sex workers outside our house at night. No kids are coming here.
But
Hey,
you,
we
so
do
what do
not
you
live in
do? Where do you go? Do you take your kids places to go trick or treating?
Yeah.
Come
Yeah,
over to
like
my
at
house.
Park.
Otherwise,
Come
some
over.
lady
Come
at
over,
Moose
park
IT
at my
will
house,
come
Betsy. Bring your kids and walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that won't be a hard neighborhood to get in or out of. It's
No,
not
it's
going
not.
to be.
Driving wise, it's easy. Here's what's funny about my neighborhood.
Don't they
So when I
walk
first
through the
moved in,
streets like they do here?
people walk around the streets crazy.
That's what I'm saying. How could you drive her car in?
You drive it. You can drive a car and just park it. They're not. The
Huh?
people aren't in the streets like zombie apocalypse. Like
That's
they
what I
use
literally just
sidewalks.
I mean,
said.
how many
You know-
kids do you normally get at your house a year?
Hundreds.
Me?
Hundreds of kids.
We get
Yeah.
about 700 here.
We get. We're not on the main drag here, but people will come in from out of town to go on this main drag.
See, that's
Those
what
people,
happens here.
1,000. We get between 200 and 500
Yeah, we're the
to
same.
our house.
The first year I moved in, one of the neighbors came over like before Halloween. I was like, "Hey, just to let you know, you should get a lot of candy." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then all of a sudden, like minivans and buses were pulling up and letting like 20 kids out. And then, all of a sudden, I'm at the point now where we shut the lights off at like 8:39. I lock it up because all of a sudden, like these like 17-year-old chicks in Hooters outfits are showing up and at like 9:45, and I'm like, hey, I didn't order you, brother. You gotta, hey, bro, you gotta pull this shit together.
Hey, bro.
And I'm like, are you in school? What's happening? It's just like, hey, man, give me some candy.
They're probably 8th graders. They're probably at a weird junction in their life. They still want candy. I feel that. I was that 8th grader who looked 17.
I finally stopped trick or treating at 26.
I'm guessing you did.
At 26?
You what, Jason?
Yeah. I stopped trick or treating at 26.
Also,
I figured out like if I got a mascot level costume, nobody would ever know. So I just kept going. Why would I stop getting free candy? That's absurd.
Yeah.
What do you guys do with the candy when your kids come home with it? What do you do with it?
I let them eat as much as they can.
Do you really?
Yeah. I'm like, fucking eat it now.
And then we watch you.
It should be like the dad who catches the kid smoking behind the shed and then makes him smoke a whole pack of cigarettes. Go, you're going to eat every piece of candy. You know what, Betsy? I'm going with you. You're going to eat. But Dad, I can't. Oh, you're eating it. You're eating every piece of this candy.
Eat as much as you can, because I don't want to send that in your lunchbox and get in trouble with your teacher for sending it.
By the way, why are teachers allowed to talk about what we pack our kids for lunch? Why is that? I just genuinely like the whole, and I understand they don't want candy because it makes the kids hyper. Fine. But like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it if I send Skittles? What are you going to do about it?
What do they do? What will they do?
I don't know, but they always, every year after Halloween are like, please remember, we to pack healthy lunches and healthy snacks. We don't allow candy. And I'm like, how about you're not the parent?
How about I mean, how much nutritional value is the Lunchable bringing in?
Well, and that's, I mean, they would probably say like, we're noticing. Here's one thing, like what should be commented on. If your kid's not eating, I want to know, like if my kid's not eating or if my kid needs more or whatever, that's fine. But don't tell me what I can and cannot pack, ma'am.
You're like one of those parents. Are you going to start the book burning list as well?
I put a spell on you.
That was great.
See, I ended up taking the candy away and then trying to dole it out, but invariably it sits in a cupboard hidden somewhere for until February, March, and then I throw it all in the trash. Yeah. We donate it sometimes to the fire. Apparently everyone's like, they always go, just give it to the firefighters. I'm like, did the firefighters want 1,000 Snickers bars? What's happening?
Can I tell you what else, Kaylor? As a teacher myself, donate it to your teacher's lounge, because teachers are always looking for just a quick snack. And I will tell you, nobody will ever feel bad about a basket of Kit Kats.
So not only are they underpaid, but they have a horrible diet, is what you're saying.
Well, I think we like free food. The truth, that's the truth.
We got to wrap this thing. It's 8:20. Even Betsy's kids are like, seriously.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey,
we're back from Boy Scouts.
Hey,
I don't know where Daddy's charger is. I'll be done in a few minutes.
We're done. Hey, we're gonna be done now. Don't worry about it, guys.
We should have been done 20 minutes ago. This was super fun. I actually feel so much. I always do. After the end of every show, I feel so much better than I did before. But it was always.
I feel a lot better.
I also feel better because I found the ring.
I love this.
No, I didn't.
Oh wait, I just found a diamond. I didn't either. It's so painful. It's so painful. Betsy Stover, Mama Bear coming out. Hey, listen, I don't know if you're going to redo Why Mommy Drinks. Maybe Mulligan should be part of that as well. But we should honestly do Why Parents Drink in general as a recurring theme of our show, because I'm always amazed why people don't drink. How can you get through this without alcohol? So
that or edibles, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm speaking
what
of
she said. What she said. What she said.
What she said. What she said. What she said. What she said. What she.
I
mean, no truer words have ever been spoken. I think that should be the name. That should be our new T-shirt. What about edibles?
As soon as she gets off work.
Kate Mulligan lost a ring tonight, so it's been an absolute train wreck of a show for her.
Technically, my son lost it yesterday, and it wasn't mine. It was my husband's family heirloom. It's fine, guys. It probably didn't cost.
if
just
he
mental
lost
hostage.
it, doesn't he owe you for it? Shouldn't he have to pay it off at some point?
God, maybe his mother shouldn't be nitwit.
Do you need me to
Oh,
come
he
over there and
probably
start
won't lose
throwing
it.
chairs around and losing my mind? Because I'll do it. I love throwing chairs around. That's how I roll. I'll
I've got
just
enough chairs flying in my
explode.
classroom
And
anyway. I'm
also, I
done.
drop a lot. My kids know when I start dropping F-bombs, they're like, Dad is
Yes.
not joking anymore. I
Same.
lost it.
My
but
kids
people
fought in
know
the car the other day, and then one of them started up again. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yes.
And then it was like silent.
Yes. That's right.
Hannah looked at me. She was like shaking and crying, and I go, yes. I was like, and then I got upstairs. I was like, I'm such a terrible person.
Yeah.
I don't know how people get through this. I'm always amazed when somebody goes, I've never yelled in my life. Oh,
Well, that person.
are you drugging them?
But you know what they didn't say directly after that? They said, I've never yelled in my life, but they didn't say I've never lied in my life, because that, my friend, is a lie.
Any parent who says I've never lost it on my kids, I'm always like, dude, you're better than I am. Then I don't know how anybody gets through this thing. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Jason, any final words before we wrap this beast?
No, I'm dying
car.
inside.
Sorry,
Listen.
say it again.
No, I'm dying inside. We can wrap. We're good.
Just remember, for Halloween, Claire Hart's dressing up. She loves walking up to people's house and getting candy. Decorations.
And that is all the lessons you need.
She likes felling. It's not even feeling. She wrote felling the Halloween spirit.
Oh,
it's a great lesson.
Satan season.
So next week's show, we'll do a little Halloween. Maybe we'll do a little costume party or something. So thank you for everybody for tuning in.
No, but it's on Halloween.
It's next week's
No,
Halloween.
next week's not. The week after is.
The week after is Halloween.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to pre-record that one because
we're going to
I'm going to have to.
Okay.
I'm going to have to.
No one's going to tune in that day. Everybody's going to be doing Halloween.
We have to take turns. My wife and I, like, one stays home and then one goes out for a couple laps and then the other one stays home.
Huh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Jason's been done for 20 minutes. I
held it together.
My drink's been empty for 15, so the show ended. When that drink ends, the show ends. So thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to follow, love, subscribe, write a review. We're here if you're listening on iTunes, we're here live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Look for the reboot of Why Mommy Drinks and the future Amazon Prime special that's coming from it. And for the love of God, somebody go watch Mama Bear. We got to find out what's happening in that thing. Betsy Stover, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please come back and play anytime. Take my place for a week or two. It would be fantastic.
Yes,
Kate Mulligan, Jason Gowan, Jamie Kaler, we love you guys. We'll see you next time here on the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.